Charlie didn't return home right away after leaving Emerald Court. He wanted to give his wife a full package of surprise during their wedding anniversary celebration. The surprise was not limited to the precious jade necklace. He wanted to make up for his wife a romantic wedding. As he recalled the earlier days, Charlie and Claire rushed to register their marriage under the request of Lord Wilson, Claire's grandfather, and they didn't manage to hold a wedding. Lord Wilson had intended to select a date for a lavish wedding, but not long after they got married, he was seriously ill and was admitted to the hospital. Hence, the wedding had to be delayed. Later, Lord Wilson passed away. Charlie was totally ignored by the Wilson family, so the wedding plan was flushed down the drain. However, it was different now. He was rich, so he could and must give his wife a wedding. The first venue that popped right up his head when he thought of the wedding was Shangri-La's Sky Garden. Shangri-La Hotel was the best hotel in Orus Hill at present. The hotel covered a large area with extravagant and luxurious decoration and had an upscale shopping mall located within. The Sky Garden was located on the highest level inside the mall. Its name came from its unique design. The exterior was constructed with crystal glass paired with fragrant flowers airlifted from abroad. It looked like a grand garden suspended in the sky. It was also the grandest and most luxurious banquet hall Orus Hill could offer. It would cost at least several $1,000,000 to hold a wedding here. Since Charlie was rich now, several $1,000,000 were just a piece of cake for him. The most important thing was that he could make his wife happy. Hence, there he was, standing at the entrance of the Shangri-La Hotel, intending to reserve the Sky Garden on his wedding anniversary. However, Charlie wasn't aware that the hotel was an exclusive members-only hotel. One had to be a member to dine, stay, or hold an event here. Besides, there were different membership levels with different privilege service packages. Normal members could only dine in the lobby area and stay in standard rooms. Silver members could dine in private rooms and stay in luxury rooms. Gold members could dine in the deluxe dining room and stay in deluxe suites. Platinum members could dine in the Sky Garden and stay in the executive suites. The highest members of them all were the Diamond members. Only Diamond members were eligible to stay in the presidential suite, and only Diamond members could reserve the entire Sky Garden for events. Moreover, one could not simply apply to be a Gold member and above. It was by invitation only, and its members were only given to those with significant social status. Before Charlie could enter the hotel, he was blocked by several men in black. "Excuse me, sir, please show us your membership card." The outfit Charlie was wearing today was rather mediocre and cheap. They were a stark contrast to the other guests who dressed to the nines. Charlie quickly said, "Hi, I would like to speak to your hotel manager regarding the booking of a venue." The man said flatly, "I'm sorry, you can't enter without a membership card." "Can I apply for the membership now?" The man shook his head and said, "I'm sorry, but you need to have a referral to apply for the membership." Charlie frowned in agitation. Why was the Shangri-La so troublesome? In the middle of this confusion, he suddenly remembered that when Lord Wilson enrolled him into the Orus University and he was in his senior year with his wife, they had a coursemate named Sabrina Lee who worked here. Hence, he hurriedly took out his phone and called Sabrina. After stating his situation about the application, Sabrina said, "Don't worry, class rep, I got this. I'll be there right now." Charlie quickly thanked her. It seemed that although they had only been coursemates for a year, the friendship was still sustained to a certain level. He would definitely return the favor to her in the future. A few minutes later, a woman's high-pitched voice suddenly echoed across the hotel entrance. "Hey, class rep." Charlie looked up and saw a woman in an office lady outfit with heavy and whimsical makeup coming from inside the hotel. Was that Sabrina? She had transformed so much that he barely recognized her. As the voluptuous lady approached them, the two guards in black hurriedly bowed and greeted respectfully, "Miss Lee." Charlie gaped in surprise. "Wow, Sabrina, it's been a while since we last saw each other and you're now a manager in Shangri-La. It's so amazing." Sabrina replied with a smile, "Class rep, you're too polite. Actually, I'm just a small-time leader of the HR department. It can only be regarded as low to middle managerial level in Shangri-La." Charlie complimented earnestly, "It's still very impressive. I heard that the requirements for the management in Shangri-La are very high. You're awesome." Sabrina laughed gleefully. She then turned to the guards next to her and said coldly, "Was it you who blocked my college class representative at the entrance, not letting him in?" The guards exchanged nervous glances. One of them quickly said, "I'm sorry, Miss Lee, I didn't know that he was your college mate. Besides, he doesn't have a membership card, we're just following the hotel's protocol." Sabrina snorted, "The protocol is fixed, but people are not. Do you not understand this?" Charlie thought that Sabrina would punish them for the matter, so he hurriedly uttered, "Sabrina, don't blame them, they're just doing their job." Sabrina shifted her gaze at Charlie. Suddenly she laughed out loud, and at the same time, her expression changed and she started teasing, "My dear class rep, you really think you're somebody, don't you? Did you really think that I'll punish my subordinates simply because of you?" Charlie frowned in dismay. "What do you mean by that?" "What do I mean?" Sabrina said with a disdainful grin, "Am I not obvious enough? Do you really think that a miserable loser like you can enter Shangri-La? Let me tell you something, don't even dream about it." Charlie clenched his fists and asked, "What the H*LL do you mean?" "I'm teasing you." Sabrina grinned like a Cheshire cat and said, "I despised you while we were in college. How could a loser who knew nothing but study and couldn't even afford a meat dish at the cafeteria be a class rep? Who were you to comment on my studies and results? Yuck. Didn't you look at yourself in the mirror?" With a cold expression, Charlie said, "Sabrina Lee, I don't think I've ever offended you or provoked you. But why do you keep ridiculing me?" Sabrina crossed her arms in front of her chest and said in a pompous tone, "Yeah, I despise you, so what? Can't you bear some criticism now, you loser? Everyone in college knows that you married Claire and became their live-in son-in-law after graduation. A miserable loser who couldn't even afford a decent meal in college and a toy boy after graduation. How dare you come looking for my help being such a big loser as you are? Who do you think you are?" A rage of fury was slowly burning inside Charlie. One would not attack unless attacked first. Sabrina was going too far this time. Right at this moment, he received a text message from Stephen. "Young master, the Wade family owns Shangri-La Hotels and Resorts. The Shangri-La of Orus Hill is just one of our many Shangri-Las throughout the world." Charlie's pupil shrank in astonishment. Did he just say that the Wade family owned Shangri-Las? He responded reflexively, "You're not bluffing, are you?" "Of course not. The person in charge of Orus Hill Shangri-La is Isaac Cameron. His number is 155. Please give him a call and he will settle everything for you." "Okay." Sabrina was a little agitated by Charlie's attitude, staring at his phone and texting while she was mocking him. She felt like she was abusing a dog and of course, she wanted to hear the dog yelp. Unexpectedly, Charlie didn't say anything. It proved that in his case, time did not change anything. He was a loser since college, and he was the same loser now who didn't even budge after being insulted. Hence, she increased the cockiness in her tone and sneered, "Hey, Mr. Class Rep. You're pretty good at putting up with insults. Oh yes, by the way, I heard that you and Claire have not slept together after being married for 3 years. Is Claire actually someone else's mistress and you're nothing but a smokescreen for her affairs?" Ha ha ha. Charlie frowned indignantly. "Not only did you insult me, but you also insulted my wife. Sabrina Lee, you're digging your own grave." Enraged, he called Isaac Cameron's number. He stared at Sabrina and said flatly while waiting for the call to be answered, "I'm going to ask your person in charge about how Shangri-La recruits employees, for even people with a foul mouth like you can work here." "What? How dare you taunt me? You really need a beating." Sabrina growled furiously and shouted to the guards beside her, "He's here looking for trouble, beat him." At this moment, his call was answered. "Hello, who is it?" A charismatic male voice came from the other end of the line. Charlie said coldly, "Are you Isaac Cameron?" "I am Charlie Wade, I'm now at the entrance of Shangri-La. I'll give you a minute to get the H*LL here or you can just get out of Shangri-La." Upon hearing it, the man who was originally full of charisma immediately panicked and stuttered, young master. Are you really at the Shangri-La now? 50 seconds. The man yelped over the phone and blurted frantically, "Please wait a moment, I'll be there right away." Sabrina smirked as she listened to Charlie's phone conversation and mocked sarcastically, "Hey, Charlie, I didn't know that you're so good at blowing your own horn. Do you know who Mr. Cameron is? Even the most prestigious members of Shangri-La dare not to be so pompous in front of Mr. Cameron. Do you really think you can fool me by pretending to make a call?" Charlie glared at him and said faintly, "You'll know in 30 seconds if I'm fooling you." Sabrina laughed contemptuously. "Okay, our beloved class rep. I'll wait for 30 seconds. Oh no, let's make it 3 minutes. If Mr. Cameron doesn't show himself in 3 minutes, I'll let the guards tear your bluffing mouth off your face, you lying little prick. Ha ha ha. This is so funny." 20 seconds later, a middle-aged man in a top-of-the-line bespoke suit ran towards them in a panic. He was a dog who worked for the Wade family. He was also a very powerful dog. Ever since he had been appointed as the general manager of the Shangri-La in Orus Hill, he became one of the most respectable icons in the city. When was the last time he was ever so panicked and anxious? However, his panic was understandable. He had never imagined that the young master of the Wade family would appear at Shangri-La, which was under his management. Sabrina intended to continue insulting Charlie when she suddenly saw the guards looking pale and horrified as they glanced behind her. She followed their stunned gazes and turned around when she saw Mr. Cameron emerge. Her eyes opened widely as if she had been struck by lightning. Then, she turned back at Charlie, her eyes full of horror. How is it possible? Who is Mr. Charlie Wade? Isaac's voice was trembling in fear and disbelief. Everyone stared at him in bewilderment, stunned. The man who could easily shake Orus Hill by simply stomping his feet had become so terrified and frightened that even his voice changed. Charlie said loudly, "I am." Isaac quickly rushed towards him and bowed. Charlie interjected immediately, "Mr. Cameron, some things are not suitable to be said out loud in public." Isaac was shaking with jitters upon the statement. "Oh, my goodness. I'm such a stupid dog. Young master's identity must be highly confidential, yet I almost called him out. If I offend young master, it will be the end for me." Thus, he hurriedly changed the address but still spoke in a respectful tone, "Mr. Wade, welcome to Shangri-La. Please follow me to my office for further discussion." Sabrina was utterly stunned. She could not accept the fact, but it had unfolded right in front of her eyes. Who was Charlie Wade really? What was his real background? How could he make the big boss of Shangri-La bow before him like a lowly peasant? He wouldn't bear a grudge against her for her mockery, right?